Welcome to Lawyers Who Care, the video show podcast that highlights attorneys who go above and beyond for their clients. And on each episode, we will meet a new lawyer and they will share stories about when they went above and beyond legal counsel for the benefit of their client. My name is Andrew Samalin. I'm the principal of Samalin Wealth, a nationally recognized wealth management firm for lawyers, their firms, and their clients. And let's applaud lawyers who care and learn from them. Today, my guest is Amy Lehman, who is the Director of Legal Services at Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts. And Amy is located in New York City. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Great. So, Amy, tell us about how you and why you wanted to become an attorney.
Well, it's probably an unusual story because my first life, this is my third profession. I started out as a ballet dancer and I performed professionally for about 15 years. And after I retired from an injury, I then went to college and got a degree in theater history, worked in the theater industry for a few years. And after that, went to law school. And the motivating force for going to law school was that when I was dancing in a company in Canada, there was a time where I had an issue with my company and a contract issue, and I had nowhere to turn. I didn't know any lawyers. I didn't know anyone who could help, and it didn't turn out well for me, and I wasn't in a position to do anything about it. So after that, I did end up coming back to New York, in fact, which was the positive outcome. I came back and continued to dance here, but I also knew that I might not be the only person who has been in a situation where, there are more powerful people out there who control your work life. And, things don't always go well for people with less leverage and power. And so as I was going through college and thinking, what can I do to help other artists? I interned with the casting director because I thought getting people jobs is a great thing to do. I interned at a Broadway production company, which was really interesting. And then when I graduated, I worked for a Broadway producer and I worked at a talent agency. And that all seemed very interesting, but I just didn't feel like I was really doing as much as I could. And during that time, I heard about this organization, Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts, and realized, well, those are the people I could have used when I was having my contract dispute. And so I knew that I wanted to volunteer with this organization after law school. So that's exactly what happened. I went to law school at University of Michigan. Then I came back to New York and started working as a litigator here and started volunteering with VLA and donating my time to helping artists who needed legal services. And after doing that for 10 years and working as a commercial litigator, with ordinary clients, this position opened up at VLA and I ended up coming here full time. And so my drive for going to law school and becoming a lawyer was knowing that there was more I could do out there to help, the people I cared about. And the ultimate result of ending up working full-time at VLA was just a perfect storm of good luck and being in the right place at the right time. So that really I am every day working with people that I care about and can help, which is great.
So you talked about the power imbalance at the outset between, those that control the career and those whose careers are being managed. In light of the, like the oligopoly of all the media companies and almost the monopoly of the music, distribution, how do you seek to equalize that?
Well, for us, where we are, what we do at VLA is when artists come to us for help, and it might be, it's not always a dispute, and it's not always, a situation where they need help from an attorney in an adverse way to someone else. But when it is, getting them placed with a volunteer attorney who's donating their time, who, works at a big, intimidating law firm, gives them a lot more power than if they are just, an individual who is in a position of maybe even just negotiating a deal with a law firm that has a lot of lawyers on their side. So that absolutely helps balance the power. And, one example of where, we want things to be balanced in our mediation program, if we have people coming to us who would like to resolve a dispute, or even if it just sort of negotiate a deal on something and they can't come to an agreement with the other side, we don't let them go to mediation without a volunteer attorney representing them if the other side has an attorney. If one side has an attorney, we don't let the other side come in without one. We want them to have that balance. If neither side has an attorney, I think that's actually even better, because then they're able to communicate directly with each other instead of through the attorneys. But that's something that can happen in mediation. But if you're in a situation where someone is trying to negotiate a deal with with a big company, or even with not such a big company, even with just someone else who has something that they're, has a job for them, and they're trying to like work out the minutia of the agreement, having a lawyer there to help do that, it just definitely balances the power. Now, when someone is served with like a cease and desist letter or with some kind of demand from someone else, having a lawyer help respond also makes them, gives them the appearance of professionalism. They have people working for them. They have people on their side. Or if somebody's being infringed upon, if somebody themselves needs to find a way to stop someone from doing something, having a lawyer send that cease and desist letter definitely will get more attention than them doing it themselves.
And is this done? So does the letterhead of the attorney that the artist might be hiring, does it say, legal services provided by volunteer lawyers for the arts, or is it, no, it just says, Dwayne Morris,
Yeah.
Jane Smith, attorney at Dwayne Morris or something like that?
Yeah. So our process, we are really a referral agency. So the clients come to us, we will give them legal advice, but we also have the volunteer attorneys doing consultations with these clients. But if they need an attorney to do something active for them other than just talking to them, giving them advice, but if they need them to reach out to a third party, to draft something, to negotiate something, then the client gets placed on what we call the case list, which is a list of matters for the volunteer attorneys to review and then request. So if a volunteer attorney requests a matter, then that client becomes a client of that law firm. They have their own engagement letter. It's a pro bono engagement letter. They won't be paying for the services, but that law firm is representing them.
Gotcha. So everyone, this is the Lawyers Who Care video show podcast that highlights attorneys that go above and beyond. And today's podcast a little bit different than that. We have an organization that goes above and beyond through their pro bono services. My guest is Amy Lehman, who is the director of legal services of Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts, located in New York City. Amy, for those that want to get in touch with you or your organization, could you share the best way for them to reach out, either phone number, email, social?
Absolutely. Our website is very easy. If you think about, we're Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts in New York, it's VLANY.org. On our website, on the very first page, there's a request legal services button. There's information about our organization. VLA is a nonprofit that's been in existence since 1969, serving artists and also nonprofit arts organizations as well since that time. And we're on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram as well. If you just do a search for Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts, it'll come up. But to get legal services, that's the way to go. And on our website, we also have a calendar which shows classes that we offer, because we don't not only give legal services, but have educational programming. So one of the big issues for artists in the world, whether they're young artists in school or, have been around for a long time, they're never given the necessary information that they need to be successful in the business, because it is a business.
Yes.
And one of the things that I'm most passionate about is educating our artists about their rights, about understanding copyright, contracts, trademark, whatever it may be, so that when they're out there trying to make a living in this world as an artist, they're not starving artists, but that they actually can make a living at it.
Right. It's wonderful. And your background absolutely supports all of that, from your being, a ballerina back in the day to being a professional today, to impart that 360-degree view on someone that, has an artistic background is so valuable.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that for me, that is most satisfying, is that when I'm counseling an artist, they understand that I get it. I'm not just, a lawyer who's never had any experience in the arts world before, but they know that I actually have these experiences and have been in their shoes. And it really does, I think, give them some comfort that they're not just talking to somebody who doesn't really understand them. Yeah, it's interesting.
Amy, thank you so much for joining us today. And if anyone that would like to participate in this podcast, an attorney particularly, feel free to reach out to us, 914-666-6600, 914-666-6600. Today's guest is Amy Lehman. She is the Director of Legal Services of Volunteer Lawyers of the Arts. Amy, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Nice meeting you.